We have breaking news in the NFL. The Bucs and Baker Mayfield have agreed on a 3-year deal with a max value of $115 million to keep him in Tampa, according to our lead NFL insider, Jonathan Jones. Mayfield resurrecting his career with the Bucs this past season, led them to an NFC South division title and a wild card win in the playoffs against the Eagles in his first season in Tampa Bay. His deal is going to include $50 million guaranteed. It includes $15 million in incentives. This on the heels of a 2-year contract they gave Mike Evans and a tag to Antoine Winfield Jr. Let's get Jonathan Jones in here. JJ, how did Tampa get this done and really get all their ducks in a row so quickly here in the offseason?
So the first domino, Chris, was really getting Mike Evans back. And he went and told his representation shortly after the combine, look, I want to be a Buccaneer. And so they said, okay, we've been working at this for a while. Here's a 2-year deal that, you know, depending on what you believe in the numbers and the likely to be earned incentives, it's really like a 2-year, $46-ish million deal. As far as Baker Mayfield, well, now I know who I'm throwing to. And Baker could absolutely have tested free agency, but the Tampa Bay Buccaneers wanted Baker back, and they made it very, very clear, really since December, when I went down there and sat with him for a feature I did on the NFL Today with Baker. Everyone there wanted Baker back before they won the NFC South. And so they had to craft a deal that was going to average something in the $30 million per year sort of band. It doesn't get up to the $40 million per year that we saw from Daniel Jones last year with the Giants. Again, it's a 3-year, $100 million contract. So quick math, $33.3 million per year. It really, without truly looking at the deal, it's probably more like a 2-year, $60 million deal, and then a we'll see after that. If he is playing well, they can decide and determine whether they want to keep him in the final year of that deal. And then, of course, he can hit $15 million worth of incentives. As you note, that can continue to make the deal go up. He hit plenty of incentives this past season, including being the top 5 or top 10 in certain passing categories and getting the Bucs to the playoffs. So I can assume that those incentives are baked, if you will, into his contract yet again. But the top line item here is that Baker Mayfield, Mike Evans, Antoine Winfield Jr. getting the tag. The gang is sort of back together, still plenty to figure out in free agency, but really these 2 top pieces on offense back before free agency truly begins.
This is pretty rare for a quarterback like Baker Mayfield. You go number 1 overall, then you jump around to a bunch of different teams. You're all of a sudden a journeyman. You're not thought of as a quarterback of the future anywhere. When the Bucs brought him in a year ago, did they have any idea that he would end up being not just the good quarterback that he was last season, but the quarterback of the future there to take over for Tom Brady?
That is certainly what you hope. I think if you asked people with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers in their heart of hearts, did you think that he was going to play so well that he would elevate you all to legitimately winning the division and getting within a sniff of the NFC Championship game? I don't know that people would say, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, we knew that was going to happen, that he was actually going to play a little bit better than Tom Brady, according to some statistics like the ones that we're seeing right there. They'll certainly take it, though. And look, they thought that with Dave Canales, their former offensive coordinator, now the head coach of the Carolina Panthers, he was someone who had worked with sort of shorter quarterbacks with good to bad offensive lines like what Tampa had. And so he had done it in Seattle with Russell Wilson and then Geno Smith. And so perhaps it could happen with Mayfield. And they were right. And now it is incumbent upon Liam Cohen, the new offensive coordinator there in Tampa, to continue the great work that was done there by Dave Canales with Baker Mayfield. Again, it's really nice that they have Mike Evans back, that they have Chris Godwin there, that Cade Otton continues to grow as a young tight end. They're still going to have to figure out some things along the offensive line, guard and center position especially, but this is a fantastic start where they don't have to battle for Baker Mayfield and wander in the wilderness at quarterback once all of these things start flying around, really tomorrow afternoon. They have their guy, and they can chart the course of the rest of free agency based upon that.
I would say most people in the media that have been following this thing would say Tampa right now, they've positioned themselves as the favorite in the division. And then there's the question of what are the Falcons going to do at quarterback? What are we hearing there with Justin Fields? You know, that all the talk that maybe they would trade for Justin Fields, and then maybe they go out and they sign Kirk Cousins. Where are the Falcons at right now as they really have to make a move here as Tampa continues to solidify themselves as one of the best in that division?
No question that the Atlanta Falcons are going to be making a move at quarterback. Look, it's still, to me, Kirk Cousins or bust for the Atlanta Falcons. I'm not convinced really at all that Justin Fields is truly a viable option with the Atlanta Falcons, at least not right now. But Kirk Cousins, who expected to hit unrestricted free agency, certainly could sign back with the Minnesota Vikings, but he has been linked very strongly to Atlanta. I know that there are plenty of folks in Atlanta who would like for that to be the future of the franchise. But as soon as this legal tampering window opens at noon Eastern on Monday, we'll start to understand a little bit more about what Atlanta's true feelings and their true direction actually is. You know, you look elsewhere in that division, the New Orleans Saints still cleaning up some cap space like they always do, but it seems like they really like their core that they have continued to keep over the years. And then, of course, the Carolina Panthers needing to do a whole lot of things in order to start to be competitive. Certainly anticipate that they're going to be active in free agency at the wide receiver and offensive line positions at a minimum. But I think you're right, Chris. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers, as it stands right now, I don't see why anyone would think that they are not the clear favorite in the NFC South as it stands today, just ahead of the start of free agency.
Tampa moving quickly. Antoine Winfield Jr. gets the tag. They get the 2-year deal for Mike Evans, potential future Hall of Famer at wide receiver, and they sure up Baker Mayfield, who will return to Tampa as they agree on a deal, 3 years and a max value of $115 million, according to our Jonathan Jones here on HQ. Taking a look at what the Bucs did last season, the first year without Tom Brady, did not take a step back, and in fact took a step forward in many aspects, winning a playoff game. Mike Evans will go for an 11th straight season with over 1,000 receiving yards as he continues to make his move toward the Hall of Fame.